persist until the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. The NWA as a central governing body, with its singular, undisputed world champion, would be absolute and undeniable. This control, combined with the expansion of the interstate highway system, and the inevitable popularity and availability of regional television, would usher in an era of wrestling that was defined by what would come to be known as the territory system. The territory system would dominate wrestling for nearly 4 decades. While the borders, authority, popularity, and obedience of individual NWA territories was in a near constant state of flux, to this day the impact and influence of these territories is still felt. Each territory had its own signature promoter and star. While it is impossible to cram these characteristics into a static, concrete map, we are damn sure going to try anyway.
So open up your eyes before it gets too late. Now one man, there's no way you can hit the streetlights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Sinners never sacrifice, we never leave love alone. Is hate really worth the price? Look at what we've done. Never care for compromise, always threatening someone's life, and it feels like the end of the world.
All right, welcome back to another episode of This Week in Pro Wrestling. We've been off for a little bit as far as doing this show because of all the busy things that have been going on, but we're glad to be back, and we're hoping you're going to enjoy this before you get your little...
Do we know what number this episode is? Probably not.
I knew you were going to ask me that.
17?
I think it's 14, maybe.
17.
17.
I think we had our Sweet 16. Maybe
All
it's
right.
16.
It
Who
could
the
be
hell
16.
knows? Anyway.
We want people to enjoy it before you get your little daily dose of SmackDown and Rampage. So,
Rampage.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
being from New York, living on Long Island, both WWE Raw and AEW both invaded the UBS Arena?
Something like that. It's where the Islanders play now. Brand new, right on the borderline of Queens and Nassau County, Belmont Park area.
So the big news that is going on is basically Raw only sold about 5,800 seats, and Tony Khan's out there bragging that AEW sold 9,500 seats.
Okay.
It's funny.
And when the ratings come out and Raw's got like a 1 point whatever, and they probably don't even beat that rating, then what are we talking about?
Well, it's not.
I don't even know what we're talking about anyway.
I
think it's a miracle anybody's going to any events the way the panic is running wild with the COVID. So whatever.
Yeah, it's got to be something. Well, first, do you think...
I don't see it like normal times anyway, so because it's not normal times now. So.
CM Punk recently
cool.
said there's no such thing as the casual wrestling fan anymore. What are your thoughts on that?
He might be right. He might be right. I think he might be right because sometimes, you think back on those days where the ratings were through the roof, and that was like everybody was watching. But most of them didn't stay. Now, did they? We did for years and years and years after that, So I think CM Punk might be right that today's wrestling landscape, there might be a few, but there's not too many.
But then what are you thinking of? All right, so first of all, I want, in my opinion, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, AEW, outselling the WWE at the same
cool.
arena.
That's fine.
But to brag about selling 9,000 seats,
that's nothing.
It's pretty pathetic.
Right, considering.
Obviously 5,000 seats.
You can see a lot more in there than that. So,
right,
yeah.
and 5,000 seats is
terrible.
pathetic.
Terrible.
So,
terrible. Either way, it's bad.
What are
it's
your
bad for either of them, in my opinion.
Well, what are your thoughts?
Place should be sold out.
What's going on with wrestling right now?
What's going on with everything right now? I mean, we know that let's use our horrendous football team. We know that the Jets sell out their season tickets before the season anyway.
Correct.
Okay, that's still happening even after COVID. People are going to buy their tickets, blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
But let's be real. How many people are showing up to the games?
Well, but to be fair,
But even a good
season's
team,
over.
though, I'm seeing empty seats.
You know, it's very interesting. I haven't really been looking.
Even
you know,
good
you're
teams,
right.
I'm seeing empty seats. People are not coming out nowadays. Some people are legitimately scared from what they read, and rightfully so. I'd be paranoid, too, if I bought into every last thing I see in the media with the COVID. I would never leave the house.
Well, you think about it,
know?
right? We've
Fortunately, I don't buy into every last thing the media says.
We've
but
gone to tons of sporting events.
Sure.
But wrestling is the type of event where you're jammed up against people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've gone to many Knick games. You got a lot of space. I mean, I've sat all over the Garden, front row, luxury boxes.
The Knicks have
whatever.
had a lot of space for the last 20 years.
No,
after
but
Patrick Ewing left.
I'm even talking about the heyday, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
We've gone to a
Okay.
Jet game last year. We were invited by
Right.
the WWE
Yes,
and
we
the
were.
Jets, right? Into their box.
Right.
Now, again, it's a box. I get it.
Oh, there's plenty of room, though.
But-
we were lounging on a couch.
No, but I'm talking about if you're just regularly watching in the stands, there's still plenty
you're
of
all
room.
over each other. Those
Hence,
you know,
I've sat on the floor in Madison Square Garden, not Madison, the Nassau Coliseum recently.
Okay.
And you're jammed up against people
Sure
on the
you
floor.
are.
What did
Sure
I tell
you
you?
are.
What was my statement to you after I got done with
what
that?
was it, Sardine City or
I
something?
said I am never,
Oh yeah,
ever,
you were done. Yeah,
ever going
yeah.
to a live professional
Hey,
wrestling
look,
match again.
I don't know if you caught this, but and I know that they're small nowadays, but Billy Corgan's NWA just had a
Oh,
pay-per-view
my God.
in Atlanta, Georgia, the home of the NWA, and there was like 3 people there, or it felt like 3 people.
Dude,
there.
they
There
looked like there
nobody
was
there.
20 people there.
Yeah, that's rough.
And our boy Mike Knox, who was in studio, was in the main event.
Right, that's rough.
And it was a pretty
man.
decent card.
I'm sure it was. It's just that's the way things seem to be right now. So
But is it the state of wrestling, or is it COVID, or is it both?
I think it's both.
Explain.
Well, the state of wrestling, in my opinion, could be a lot sexier as far as bringing in mass audiences. It is not. It's kind of basic now. Vince's approach with entertainment has been somewhat blasé, to be fair. And then you've got the purist, and that's not going to bring in huge ratings. The purist's approach at AEW or an NWA or a New Japan, that's not going to bring in 5, 6, 7 million people. Never. That's the one thing that I always laugh at the most when it comes to the, the anti-entertainment wrestling fans. And I understand. I totally get it. I love the sport of wrestling, and I love to see a great athletic contest. But that's never going to bring the big ratings. Come on, do your history. It's not. It's not. You cannot compare it to a Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was an entertainer first. You know what I mean? The Rock is a good, solid in-ring wrestler, but he's an entertainer first. Those are the big bucks, How were the big bucks doing when Bret Hart was here in 1995 with Diesel? How about them apples? So what did Diesel do? He got the hell out of here and formed the NWO Super Entertainment with Hulk Hogan, and all of a sudden, the lowest rated, ratings champion in the history of the freaking business is now the number 1 draw doing entertainment over with WCW with Hollywood Hogan and Scott Hall. So it is entertainment at the end of the day. Puts those extra, what was that, 5,000 for Raw? You think if Stone Cold was here right now, there'd be 5,000 people? Let's say Stone Cold came back that night and everybody knew he was making an appearance. You think there's going to be 5,000 people there?
Well, let's talk
there's not.
Let's talk about the scenarios.
So it's entertainment.
Is the problem that
not very
wrestling
entertaining.
isn't building its stars? It's still behind. Look, the Yankees are the Yankees. They're the Yankees.
Right.
Yes, they have stars on the team, but
Yankees
you come
suck
to
right
see.
now.
But you understand my point.
I'll tell you what, I don't
come
want to see the Yankees right now.
But-
the same way a lot of people don't want to see the mainstream wrestling, because where's the new Rock? I'm looking for the next Derek Jeter. I'm looking for the next Reggie Jackson. I don't see one. I don't see one on the Yankees. I see a high payroll, just like I see a fancy, television production produced Raw, and I don't see enough substance.
When
me.
when you went to Yankee games, did you go to see Derek Jeter or did you go to see the Yankees?
When I first started going, it was the interest and love for the history of the Yankees. But understand, this is the 1970s, where I'm going off the shadow of Mickey Mantle, and before him, Joe D, and before him, Ruth and Garrick. This is a long time ago now. Now we're in 2020, whatever, and I'm just looking for a Derek Jeter. I'm looking for a Bernie Williams. Hell, I'll take a Scott Brocious. Can I get a baseball player on my team?
You're going around.
Everybody either strikes out or hits a home run. I want a baseball player.
But you're
on
going
my team.
around you keep saying my team.
Yeah.
You're going around the question.
Yeah.
When you go to games, when you go to the Jet game, when you go to the Yankee game, when you go to Nick
I
game,
root for the
do you
logo
go-
first.
You're going to see the
I root
team.
for the team first. Right.
So
Okay.
if your favorite player is Aaron Judge, and he leaves, but the Yankees are winning,
I'm still a Yankee
you're
fan.
still the Yankees.
Of course I'm still a Yankee
so
fan. We're the same way
is
with
that,
WWE.
My point to you is with the WWE, is that not working in wrestling anymore? Do you need the star that you want to go see, or can you just want to go see the brand?
I got to be honest. I've never ever said to myself, "Gee, I just can't wait to go out and see the brand." When it comes to pro wrestling,
So
it was
there you go.
always the star.
Right.
When we were kids, the star was Hulk Hogan. I wanted to see Hulk Hogan. Later on, I wanted to see Stone Cold, or I wanted to see Jericho.
But you know what?
or
I'm
I
not
wanted
so
to be-
sure. So back in the day when we used to go to the Garden when Backlund was champion,
Yeah.
we didn't go, we want to go see Backlund. We don't want to see the guys fighting. We wanted to, obviously it was the main event, but we wanted to see the match.
Morocco was on the card of Valentine. We were
This
going
is
to see
true.
our boys.
This is true. Okay.
We were going to see our boys, and yes, we were going to see the company that we watched, and we've always had loyalty to that company first, if that's what you're getting at. But I don't think that it resonates quite as much. You know, maybe with the AEW fans it does with their brand. AEW and death! I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way at all.
Can I give you my analysis
You know?
and give me your feedback on
It's
it?
your brand. Wrestling is more individualized than,
Give me give me your thoughts on my analysis.
Go ahead. What you got?
If anybody lived through the early 90s with pro wrestling,
Right.
it was dying.
It
You could go to the Garden, and that 5,000 that you saw at this arena on Long Island, the Madison Square Garden had 3,000.
It was bad.
I was there.
It was bad.
Okay, I just got home from the military. It was bad.
It was terrible.
But the WWE was doing a good thing because they were catering to the younger generation because they were trying to build the future of the fans, like almost understanding that they were going to go through this lean time.
Right.
Today's wrestling. The demographic for the WWE, fortunately or unfortunately, is Jimmy Farrow, Mike Monty's age. The problem is Jimmy Farrow and Mike Monty aren't necessarily going to go drive their ass to Madison Square Garden or to the arena to go watch it. Do we watch it on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have the network?
Do we have the network? Do we watch the documentaries?
Yes, we do.
Do we have a pro wrestling show?
Do we occasionally buy a shirt from WWE? Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, right?
Absolutely.
But we're not the ones going to the arena.
Right.
The other
in
half,
general.
the other half of the WWE audience is, guess what? The working families, kids,
Right.
who they're bringing to these
Daddy,
events
take me to go
because they're
see.
building the future.
Right.
Here's AEW. AEW is catering to the people that aren't me and Jimmy's age,
Right.
and aren't kids,
Right.
that don't have families.
Right.
And I'm gonna be legit here. Probably don't have a job. Probably still living in mommy's basement. No, I'm being 100% honest here.
Well, they're probably in their 20s. I'm
living-
not sure if they're still stuck in mommy's
All right,
basement. but
living
they're
off,
probably like
living
20 to
off the
28
government,
or
living off
something.
their gut. Listen, dude, I know
Something
people
like
that went to this recent event in AEW,
so do I.
and the people who were posting it, everyone that I knew because they were on my Facebook didn't have a fucking job, and I was like, there they are, the
Wait a
AEW
minute, how
fan,
did they get money to go to the damn thing? Those sneaky
because
those
they've
sneaky
been
marks.
living off the government tip.
Oh, it's more unemployment.
These are the
stuff.
same guys that are going to these virtual
yeah.
auctions online and buying their 18th
Yeah.
picture of Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they have this plethora of money that they think
Right.
is a plethora of money.
Right.
They haven't worked, and the government's giving them money.
Right.
So,
You know, some of us didn't take that handout, and we're like, I want to work. I don't want to sit at home.
Thank you.
So,
That's
know,
right.
I don't understand that they do this or get away with this, but okay, fine.
so my point
right.
is that is the AEW audience. And AEW, like I said,
be, Rabbit.
their fans are like, woo, no matter what you do.
Right.
I love
CM
it.
Punk farts, and they're like, that's a delicious smelling fart. Right.
But again,
Gotcha.
congratulations on 9. And this isn't anti-AEW. What I'm trying to say is the state of wrestling, people are saying it's never been better. I'm going to tell you it's never been worse.
It's not doing well, in my opinion, especially live. I mean, you cannot get 5,000 people for a Raw or 9,000 and be excited about an arena that probably seats 13, 14, 15,000 people in it. What the hell are you jumping up and down for? You sold half of it? That's or a little more than half? That's terrible.
And understand that
That's
you're
terrible.
the new kid in town.
You know?
Come to New York a few more times, AEW, and see if those 9,000 seats sell out.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And I got to be honest with you. You want to
Why
talk
don't they try Madison Square Garden? See how that works for them.
Oh, please. Kidding me?
Well, let them try it. You know, they talk real big. Let them try it. Let's see
Am
how
I,
that
am I
works.
wrong here? So today's wrestling, when you used to turn on...
I think you should tell everybody you think AEW sucks.
Well, I'm going to just give you... Okay, so
you know, because,
my
you
wife
know.
was out last night. So we watch shows together
it's
on
meh.
Wednesdays, so I catch a lot of repeats on AEW. I never really watch it live.
Okay.
But she was out, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to sit back and watch AEW. Why not? Right? I got this opportunity.
This is
She's
Dynamite?
already like, yeah, Dynamite.
Okay.
She's already like, there's enough wrestling in this house. I don't want to watch it. Right?
Enough wrestling in this house.
So
I can
today's,
see that.
again,
Go
everybody
on.
knows today's wrestling, right? It's become like television where they have to give you the preview of what's going
Yes,
to
please
happen.
stop telling me
Here's your list of matches that you're ready.
Can't someone
I will tell
surprise me
you
once in a while?
But here's the thing. They go through the list of matches.
Yeah.
Do you know what I did?
Turned it off.
I turned on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
There you go.
I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Right.
These names on this card, Daniel Bryan
did CM
against,
did-
what's his name?
Did CM Punk wrestle our dentist this week? Because
CM Punk
every
came.
week he's
Well,
wrestling.
let's speak about it.
yeah.
CM Punk came out
Okay.
to MJF's music,
Okay.
and he played the heel role on Long Island. I guess understanding that,
Right, because it's MJF's hometown.
MJF's whole town.
Right.
And it was just, it was a bunch of Islander talk. It was actually, to me, a very bad promo.
I liked the matchup. I'll say that. I did like the promo they had a couple of weeks back. That was fire. I thought that was great.
Well, let's talk about
I'm glad
that.
to see CM Punk finally doing a profiling match against, MJF instead of Moriarty or a bunch of others. This is the reason I thought he was brought here to work with people like MJF. So,
By the way,
there's
if
always
people
that, which is good. But he still looks like he's
Dynamite's ratings went up to 872,000 this week.
872,000. Yeah.
Just going to share that.
All right. That's
So, coming off this MJF CM Punk deal,
Yeah.
everybody was talking this is the greatest promo
Stop.
in the history of pro wrestling.
Stop.
Feedback?
I thought it was an excellent promo, but I don't like when people are constantly, every week, throwing around the greatest. Every week, AEW has a Matt Classic. Oh, it's the greatest match ever. You know what? Shut up already. Stop it. It wasn't the greatest, promo, whatever. It was excellent. I loved it, but I would really have to sit down and figure out where it sits as far as great promos. But to call it the greatest, I see that knee-jerk reaction every week on the internet, and I think it's hilarious. That's my take on that.
Is this possibly going to be one of the greatest feuds of all time?
No.
Do you think MJF
I mean,
gets more
that's
since people
silly,
are dying for
you know?
something, they put MJF on this pedestal?
MJF's awesome. I think he's great. But, to say it's one of the greatest feuds of all time is way premature. Stop it. Let's see how much attention it calls to the wrestling business. Let's see how they do in the ring together. I haven't even seen them do anything really in the ring together. Calm down. What is it with this greatest and the best and all of this other stuff? People are really overblown with it, in my opinion. Why don't you let something play out before you hail it as the greatest thing ever since sliced bread? Wow, I'm showing my age. Since sliced bread.
How do you like the shots, these low blows that are constantly being during these little
Well, I loved what he said to him when Punk said to MJF, "You're just the less famous version of the Miz." I thought that was fantastic.
Did you agree with that comment?
Yeah, they do.
So you hold Miz in high regard then?
It's not even holding him in high regard. It's just factual. How can you compare MJF's career so far to a guy who's been working for WWF for how many years now, with the ratings being much better in plenty of his career than it's been currently? This guy has been a main event at times, major main event player for Vince for how many years? MJF would be lucky to have the kind of career Miz had. I wonder what would happen if MJF ever came here. What Vince would do? Would he push him or would he squash him? I always wonder about that.
So I got us tickets to last night's show, not knowing this is hypothetical, by the way, and I could have got us tickets,
sure.
by the way, but I wasn't going. So
Yeah.
period.
Notice my pain that we didn't go.
I know.
Go
But
on.
here's the card when you get there. You don't know anything. Here's the card.
Okay, what do you got?
The Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal for the ring, which is the most annoying thing.
The ring.
The ring deal. It goes back to when Terry Taylor in Mid-South used to wear the TV title
What, medallion?
medallion,
You're killing me.
which I hated.
Stop. Killing me.
Now we got the AEW ring that's just always on MJF's finger, which
Okay.
to me is like
We're having a battle royal over it.
stupid.
How exciting. All right, what else?
The Young Bucks versus Rocky Romero and Chuck Taylor.
Well, you know what's funny? On paper, if you're a purist, hey, this is going to be a good match. They're going to have a good match, which they did. I actually saw this.
Okay, fine.
But my favorite part was when Sue drove out Beretta because Mom's back and she dropped her son off at the wrestling ring. Did you see that? Yeah. That's our old boy Beretta from one of our first guests ever, going back years. And by the way, he looks beefy.
He looks good.
And he shaved his head and he's got a beard. I think he's got the Monty look going, right? So he comes out there and stuff. And
nothing like stealing my gimmick.
Yeah, well, people do this to us all the time. Yeah. So basically, I loved it. They had the big hug. It's the best friends. They're back. I enjoyed that. As far as, will I remember it 3 weeks from now? Don't count on it.
But you're at the arena. You spent your money. You're there.
I'm happy with that match because of the way it played out. What do you got?
John Silva versus Bryan Danielson.
Again, if you're a purist, hey, here's a nice little technical battle, but it's not who I wanted. Look, we got in the car and we went to the Coliseum or whatever, the New Islanders place, and Daniel Bryan's on the card. I do not want to see him fighting him. So I would be like,
let me just ask you, since you're talking about driving in the car.
Yeah.
It's the end of the card. We're getting in the car together.
Yeah.
What's it like driving home with me after this card? I'll read the rest of it, but
what's it going to be like with you after this card? You're going to be like, never again. I hate wrestling. This company stinks. I can't believe they charged $35 for a beer. Blah, 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 blah. You'd be like, the guy next to me had bad breath.
This is the worst fucking shit.
This is the worst shit ever. So, yeah, it would be pretty rough.
Rio versus Jamie Hayter.
Stop it. Rio should not even be on the goddamn roster. I don't even want to hear it. Now, can you hear the purists? They're so mad. She's 3 pounds!
Thank you.
Thank you. I would not care at all. So far, we've got one thing. We got our boy Beretta coming out. Other than that, I'm annoyed as shit.
So to be
what
fair,
else you got?
fair, when you talk about Rio, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Kenny Omega's side chick. That's why she gets pushed.
Right.
You know that, right?
I know. I heard that.
Kenny Omega's side chick.
But I was thinking the same thing about Queen Vega. Like, I always loved her, right? Selena, your girl.
You're about to talk shit about Selena
but,
Vega?
Dude, she's so small.
No, but at least
she's so small.
Yeah, but at least you could tell that she'd lift your wallet if you're not looking.
Great.
Rio is like, what? Rio is like pleasant and shit and weighs 3 pounds. At least Selena Vega, you might get held up.
Get a little heel.
I mean, at least she's got that going on. You know, she's
again, five matches, dragging your ass out, putting yourself around
5 feet of
9,000 people that obviously don't have jobs and obviously probably don't social distance.
Okay.
They're probably picking their nose and eating their boogers after they've rubbed their hands on the toilet bowl.
Stop it!
Right? These are the guys, these are the type of people that go to AEW, that go to the bathroom and don't wash their hands.
They sound like
these are the guys. I guarantee an AEW fan goes and gets a hot dog, goes to the bathroom, takes a nasty dump while he's eating his hot dog or her hot dog, and then get up, don't wash their hands, and then go sit next to you and then actually rub up against you because you're so close to each other.
You're not thorough enough. When they're on the bowl,
yes,
they're checking up on their wrestling news.
Oh, that's right. And eating a hot dog.
And eating the hot dog.
And then they might hold the hot dog in one hand, wipe their ass with the other, but accidentally sometimes where the toilet paper with the poo touches the hot dog, they look at it, they realize it, but then they use the 5-second rule and they still eat the hot dog.
The next thing you know, they're actually accidentally wiping their ass with the hot dog bun because they didn't pay attention. You got it. You got to focus when you're on the bowl.
You're right.
You know, it's rough.
You can't really blame them because Mommy's been cooking their dinner for the last 40 years.
That's true.
20 years.
Did Mommy make the hot dog? When Mommy finds out they had a fast food hot dog at the venue, they're going to be very upset.
Yeah, I agree.
You didn't eat the TV dinner I left by the microwave. This is rough. Now go to your basement and watch wrestling. And
to finish off this outstanding card,
watch wrestling.
The Acclaimed and 2.0 versus Jurassic Express and the Varsity Blondes.
Was this when Luchasaurus came running in?
Yeah.
Came back?
I think so.
So you probably would have been happy with that, but in general, that match is like
honestly, I don't want to see that. I gotta be honest.
This was Dynamite.
That was Dynamite. That was the card. That was what they gave New York. That's what they gave New York.
Boo. I say boo. Yeah, boo. Me no like. Overall, I don't think so. You know, remember the first time we went to the Garden? What did we see? We saw a 15-man battle royal won by Fuji and Saito, who decided to split the money, and we saw Morocco and Backlund kill each other for 35 minutes.
For 35 minutes.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know, and for you younger folks who think that we don't know what we've seen, oh boy, you don't know what we've seen. You missed it. But check it out on the network.
Here's Monday Night Raw. No, don't, because it may ruin it for you.
Why? It's a lot of arm bars and rest holds.
And a lot of backlands. Whoa!
Yeah, but at least there's none of those cartwheels and touch you lightly with my toe.
All right, here's the Raw card.
Yeah,
Ready?
go on. What do you got?
Big E versus Kevin Owens.
Nice.
That's nice, right?
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Queen Zelina versus Nikki Ash.
I hate it, and I hate Nikki Ash's gimmick. Next.
Street Profits versus AJ and Omos.
Very cool because I like AJ, and I like the Profits are entertaining. Go on.
Damian Priest versus Robert Roode.
I wish Bobby Roode could do something legitimate lately. But
Dewdrop versus Bianca Belair.
Can't stand it. Can't stand it.
Miz TV.
That's cool.
With Edge.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool.
Mysterios versus Alpha Academy.
Okay. All right.
Finn Balor versus T-Bar.
T-Bar. Yeah, whatever. Next. It's not that
Becky
great a
Lynch
card.
versus Liv Morgan.
It's not that great a card. Okay.
I'll tell you what.
But
it's
already
better.
has them,
It's better
and
than
already
AEW.
got, no, it's already
dude.
got them beat though. It
It's
does.
not even
I mean, you were a
close.
couple of matches in, and they had already surpassed it. So
It's
yeah,
like
it's
that
better.
AEW card was friggin'
It's better.
awful.
It's
So
better.
if you're the stupid
At least
ass
on
Phil
paper.
Brooks fan
Yeah.
that just wanted to come out, watch him go make fun of the Islanders, congratulations.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
whoa, that's so witty.
Right.
And again, clearly everybody could tell I hate AEW. Okay, I do.
And Phil Brooks.
And Phil Brooks. Boy, do I hate Phil Brooks.
Yeah, we know.
You know what? I would
We
tell you
know.
this. I wish the guy that attacked Rollins would attack Phil Brooks, but if he did, he'd probably break Phil Brooks' ribs.
You know, here's what's worrying me, not to enhance your point on Phil Brooks' fragility, but the more I see with the beard, I start to realize that Vince Russo looks just like him and could probably kick his ass because he's bigger.
Dude,
Vince
that
Russo,
guy-
like, he's
that
got
guy-
like he's starting
Phil
to do the
Brooks-
At least Vince Russo looks natural on. It's like Phil shave.
Hey,
What
Phil,
are you doing?
if you want to be a wrestler, just take
If
some
you
juice,
wanna
please.
be a wrestler?
Do some gas. Eat a sandwich.
Dude, he
you
looks
look like you're homeless.
He looks like he hasn't eaten in months. It's rough.
That
rough.
hot piece of ass, AG Lee. I don't even know what she's thinking about being with
Could
that
he
guy.
at least eat some of the ice cream he gives away?
That's true.
Because he looks like he's
Eat some
really-
ice cream,
I mean, and he
motherfucker.
looks like he hasn't slept in months.
Eat an ice cream bar.
He's skinny. He's a skinny malink. If I could use an old term from my family, he's a
Dude,
skinny
why can't
malink.
someone attack him?
What do you mean?
Like a
how'd you
fan. Why
how'd
doesn't a fan just attack him
Wow. Maybe they're afraid that he'll sue them for permanent injury.
and cry in the court?
You know, I mean, yeah.
Like he
something
did
like
it
that.
the
I can't
18 other
believe CM
times.
Punk is suing me.
No, not the fan.
I
CM
figured the
Punk.
fan would cry.
Remember that whole thing when he was in court about the WWE when he was suing them
yeah,
over his
yeah.
trauma?
Right. Right. It's rough.
They're mean. They only
rough.
gave me $5 million a year.
Yeah, that was terrible. What'd you do with all that money? Shut up.
Anyway, State of Wrestling's a bad
Details,
shit, dude.
details.
Stick to Monty and Farrow. Watch the old school interviews.
Yeah.
Watch our show.
Yeah. Well,
and,
I like,
and guys,
but you know what though? We do like some of the new stuff, and we watch every week. Unlike a lot of these clowns out there that don't even keep a pulse on the product.
that's true.
You know what I mean? Come on now. All
right, well,
I
with
watch
that,
every week.
Episode 17 in the books,
Yeah,
or
well,
episode
if
16?
it is 17, we'll go back and check the log.
Send us out, Jimmy.
You've been watching This Week in Wrestling, and until next week in wrestling, later.